Life's not that long, just a few short hours. So make each minute count, make every second matter. Just give me one more day to get it right. I need just one more day.
Transplant Talk with Nyshonda, Thursday, 7 p.m. on Facebook Live and YouTube.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Transplant Talk with Nyshonda. I am your hostess with the mostest, and we are here today in honor of National Donor Sabbath Month or weekend. And so this year, I wanted to do a little something different and bring in more information about what Donor Sabbath is. And so I want to put it here on the screen. Okay, we want to be able to help register, as many people as we can for organ donation. And today, I actually have the honor, the privilege to have the brothers. Okay, the brothers. I have Tyson Parker. I have LaMaiah Flowers. Okay, y'all don't understand. I have to start putting a map up of how many places I am traveling around the world, around the country, without me having to go virtually. So we are here for that. So today, guys, I am in California, and I am also in Oklahoma, y'all. This is my first time ever being able to do something like this. So we're looking for bigger and better. I know I have not been on the scene for a minute, but I might just be away for a second, but I am never leaving the transplant community. And as you know, this Transplant Talk with Nyshonda is in honor of my late husband, Leonard Wayne Larimore, who passed away needing a heart and a kidney. And this show continues to lift up everyone that is in need of a life-saving transplant. We want to honor the people that were able to become, living donors, or they have passed away and they were organ donors. So we want to make sure that we honor them and always keep them in their legacy alive. So without any further ado, I want to bring on my two guests, the brothers, LaMaiah Flowers and Tyson Parker. I'm so glad we were finally able to do this, and this just seemed to be the perfect time for us to do it. So I'm going to give them my, of course, green carpet treatment. And after that, we will have them on the show. So just stay right there. All right, so everyone, please welcome Mr. Flowers. And also, we want to welcome Mr. Parker. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, Nyshonda, doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited. I'm excited that you all are both here to tell your very interesting and heartfelt, warm story. So, LaMaiah, why don't you start off with just telling us a little bit about who you are before the transplant? Who's LaMaiah?
Oh, wow. Well, our story, it goes back to I want to say the late 90s, around 1999 was when I was in college, and I was diagnosed with end-stage kidney disease. And I met Tyson in 2002 while on dialysis at a job site. We were working for a company called Center Partners, and I was a training manager. There was a wireless company, kind of innovative, and Tyson was one of the new hires, and I would have my dialysis, tape bandages on while I was teaching the class, and quite a few of the students would ask me, why are you wearing those, or what's going on, and I explained I was on dialysis, and Tyson was one of the ones that followed through with what he said. about going to get tested and, going to, be willing to donate if he was a match. And lo and behold, he was a match. And, I had just only known Tyson for, what would you say, brother, about
3
a
weeks,
month?
maybe? Yeah, 3
2
weeks
weeks,
a month.
2 weeks, a month.
Yeah.
So, but it took some time before we didn't actually have the procedure until about a year later. Some things happened. We actually lost our job. That company ended up closing, going out of business.
On Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
2002, wasn't it?
Yep. Valentine's Day was our last day.
Yeah. And so we all lost our jobs that day. And I was like, I'm never going to hear from Tyson again. I mean, we barely knew each other. And so, but we kept in touch. A few other people got tested. And at the time, I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, but I was going to school in Oklahoma, and that's where I had gotten sick. And so I decided to stay in Oklahoma because that's where all my medical attention and care, was being handled. And so I'm in my early 20s, very young. And so I just decided to stay, and it worked out. I ended up, having to do dialysis for another year, and we had our transplant April the 9th of 2003.
Well, one funny thing about that, for about 3 months, he didn't even know I had gotten tested, and I didn't say anything. I was just going through getting the test done. You match this, you match that. I didn't want to give any type of false hope. I was just trying to check it out myself. So that was kind of the funny thing. One day he just kind of comes up to me and is like, man, they told me somebody's been coming up here pretty regularly getting tested. And I was like, oh, yeah, I've been getting all the stuff done. So that was kind of a funny moment.
Well, Tyson, let me ask you this. What made you say this is something that I wanted to do? Someone that you barely knew. What was placed on your heart, to do this?
I had a dream. God came to me. Our Father came to me in a dream and told me, sorry, there's lights behind me. I'm at work.
You're fine.
I had a dream. Our Father came to me and said, you're going to give him your kidney. At the time, I was 19 years old, married with one child, a son, and another son on the way. So I had this crazy dream. Woke up, told my wife, expecting her to be like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Right? And
Right.
woke up, told her she had known about LaMaiah's situation. I had talked about him. Woke up, told her, hey, God told me I'm supposed to give him my kidney. And immediately she was like, well, you better get on the ball. That's what you're going to do. And at that was my confirmation right there. I was like, there's no going back. We're doing this. I mean, it's happening. I mean, it was really that quick and that simple. He told us his story at work one day. I went home, had a dream that night, was told by God that I was going to save his life, and that's what happened.
Wow. Now, thank you for being obedient and listening to God, because
absolutely,
I am. I firmly believe that you can either do it voluntarily or you can do it involuntarily. But either way, you're going to do it. And if you don't listen to him, you end up coming right back full circle. If you had only just said the first time, okay, I'll listen to you and I'll just do what you say. I'll follow you. So thank you for your obedience and having that ear to, at such a young age, because there's not a lot of 19-year-olds that would say, yeah, I heard from God and he told me to do that. So
Yeah, I've
You're
got
rare.
my sons are 21 and 20, and I couldn't picture either one of them uh, ever making a decision like that. I
Right, right.
mean, it, it surprises me still to this day.
Yeah, it does. That's good. I mean, God, you are truly connected with God, and
Yeah,
that's a special gift to have. And I know all about those dreams because I appreciate the gift of dreams and being able to know what God is about to do. So that is also a great thing to have in my life. So I can only imagine how it feels for you to do that. Now, LaMaiah, you finally get the word that Tyson is a match, but he's not just a match. What was that special thing about the two of you?
Well, we have the same blood type,
Mm,
and there's there's a medical term, antigens. You have to have 6 out of 6 antigens in order for the donor to, back then to be an acceptable match. And Tyson, I think, had 1 out of the 6, and that was all that you needed. And so that made it extra special that he
I,
doesn't just wait. Maybe he knows it better. Where you had more?
I, I had 4 out of 6.
mm.
4.
Yeah,
See, he knows
they
the story.
basically told me I
He's
couldn't
younger
be
than
a
me,
more
by the
perfect
way.
match.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he couldn't have been a more perfect match.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah,
And
so
it's so interesting with all of the myths that are out there about, organ donation. You two, yes, you were the brothers, and it was the blood that matched you all, the more perfect. It did not matter the ethnicity. It did not matter the skin color, but it was that blood that connected. That blood just works. It just works, and that makes me so
yeah.
happy. Just to know that. I wish people really understood that how we are as humans, just love each other just for being human. We're just human beings. And
Well,
that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
before
Yeah. And,
viral was a thing, Tyson and I went viral on the news in Oklahoma. I think
mm,
Yeah,
our story went national. I mean, the internet was pretty new, but our story was pretty big at the time. Um,
yeah.
mhm.
you know, white man gives black man a kidney in Oklahoma City. It's kind of
Right.
unheard of. And so,
Could you imagine if we did that now? The blow up it would have.
yeah, yeah, it would be a pretty big deal. So
Well, now it's a little more normal. It's
it
normalized just a
is,
little bit more.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so yeah, you all were able to do something. You can say you were not the first, but back then, because I remember when the internet came out and I was just going to college, so that's how young I am. Um, so so for it to happen in the early 2000s, then that was still phenomenal. That was a phenomenal story, and it should have been told. And the story should never die. Your story should constantly be told. That's why I'm so gracious. I'm grateful that you all came on my platform to let's tell this story again. So it's definitely um, a benefit to me. But we're not only here just to tell you a story, LaMaiah. You recently learned that something else has happened to you, and I want you to just tell that story.
so so just recently, unfortunately, last year around this time in November, I was already vaccinated, but I did get COVID, um, and my doctors are attributing to me having a decline in my kidney function. So Tyson and I, every year we talk, we celebrate our April 9th, is our kidney versary. and we celebrate every year. So this year was year 20 that we celebrated. And usually I'll share a story on Facebook, or he'll share a story on Facebook, that, here we are another year celebrating a successful kidney transplant together. He's healthy. I'm feeling healthy. But getting COVID, my doctors are attributing to that to me having a decline. And so lately I've been getting more testing and than usual. Previously, I had only had to get tested, every 3 to 4 months, as far as where are my blood levels, how's my creatinine, how's my GFR, and this all over this entire year, everything has unfortunately started to decline, and to where now I am being told that I have to get a new kidney, unfortunately. And I had to tell Tyson that earlier this year. I think it was either August or September. I think we had a call, and it was a very emotional call. It was a devastating call because I've been healthy, most of my adult life post that transplant. I was able to get married. Tyson was the best man, of course, in my wedding. My wife and I have 3 children, and life was just going in the right direction for me. And it still is. I'm very much a believer in God and his power and his deliverance. And so I continue to hold to my faith in him. And so, I'm holding on to Tyson's kidney as long as I can. They want to put me back on dialysis. And, I pleaded and I've asked the doctors. I was actually scheduled October 30th, last Monday, for my graft fistula to be put in. And I told them, I didn't want to do it. They said, well, you're functioning at a 13%. And I said, well, what if I have, another living donor that is willing to provide a kidney for me? And they said, you do? And I said, by the grace of God, yes, I do. And so that is in the process of being worked up right now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm sharing that with you too right now. Well, it's still in the process. My beloved little sister Jasmine is going to step up for me. At the time, back then, I think she was 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jasmine, my little sister, is she's getting tested. And so with that, the doctors are saying, okay, we'll hold off LaMaiah on being on dialysis again. So man, God be the glory. If she, tests out and things go well, she has to do the CT and the scan and all of those things.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah. So be praying for that. We've been praying, and so hopefully, I may have another procedure without having to go back on dialysis. So, God has always been gracious to me.
Amen.
And I just, I just continue to trust in him, with all the things that I've had to do with, and he's put people, a person like Tyson in my life to show me that there are people out there that have enough faith in God and love God enough to be obedient to him. I don't think anything was special about me for Tyson to donate his kidney to me. Tyson is a true man of God, and it's his love and his obedience that he's demonstrated, and I've got to be a witness to, that's helped my faith in growing and being more confident in my walk, with Christ and with God.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that. And what a surprise, because we both didn't know. that this was happening. So of course we're
That's
grateful for
awesome.
that. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't, and I know we hadn't talked in a while.
Right.
You know, I'm Tyson knows me. I just call randomly out of nowhere, or I'll
Yeah.
text out of nowhere, and
Mm-hmm.
but I'm, you know, as long as I'm here, I'm going to be reaching out. But yeah, I hadn't, because it was just happening so fast, and um, you know, with my kidney function going down, I've been a lot more fatigued. I've been my energy has gotten lower, but you know, I'm still persevering. So I don't like to complain a lot. So I just, you know, just keep moving forward with everything. So I'm glad I was able to share with both of you on this
Yeah.
Yeah.
show at the same time that yes, I
Absolutely.
have. God is so good. I have two potential donors. If my sister, um, if it doesn't work, then my little brother, um, who's like 14 years younger than me, he's gonna step up and be next in line for me. So
Wow.
Awesome, man.
I'm
Awesome.
in awe of God's presence. You know, like saying, "Hey, LaMaiah, you know, don't worry, I got this. You just keep doing what you're doing
And he
and
does.
maintain."
Yes, and he does. And he does. But I want to
Oh,
quickly
such good news.
yeah, right, Tyson? Because I know once when you received that phone call from him about the declining of his kidney, how did you take that news?
It was the worst, one of the worst phone calls I've ever gotten. I, I somehow I felt like a failure to a point
Nah,
because a part of me quit working for somebody else, and I hated that. I hated that so much. I would have done anything to been able to tell him, brother, I'm on my way. I got another one for you. But I couldn't say that. Um, so all I could do is be praying, and the news he just gave us is amazing.
It
I'm
is.
so glad he's got people in his life that are willing to step up for him like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
that is wonderful news, and I'm glad your family members stepped up. So, but just a quick question, Lamaya, the your kidney disease is not hereditary, right?
No,
What
it's just,
contributed to it?
well, right. So my mother and father, biologically, I'm their only child. My mother remarried and has two other children. My father remarried and he has other children. Um, and so I'm my parents' only child. I'm an only child by my biological mother and father. Neither one of them have kidney disease. Um, my mother's parents don't have kidney disease. My father's parents don't have kidney disease. I have a rare blood disease called MYH9. And at the time, I was diagnosed with just end stage renal failure um,
Mhm.
in '99. And it was actually, you know, through my son, who you and I have talked about. Tyson knows all about Portland. Um, it was through my son, who's 10 now, but when he was 5, he was diagnosed with this rare blood disease through me, of course. When they traced me to him, it was called MYH9. And what MYH9 does is it attacks your your blood pressure, your kidneys, your white blood cells. Um, it causes loss of hearing, and it also attacks your white blood cells, your platelets. And so my son, you know, was on dialysis too at 5 years old. And so, but they were able to trace this disease to him through me because my wife, you know, didn't have any health issues um, related to kidney or high blood pressure or any of the things I just mentioned. Um, and so, you know, it was just something that God kind of gave me, like Paul, he gave it that thorn in the side, if you will, that you have to bear. And, I bear it. And so, unfortunately, my youngest son uh, is dealing with this as well. My two older sons are a lot more healthier and doing well. And so, but that's how I figured out exactly what my disease was at the time. I was at the time, and when I was first diagnosed, I was just told that I have high blood pressure, and that's what caused your kidneys to fail. When I was younger, I had my spleen removed. I've had a lot of health issues growing up. So, but the discovery of the MYH9, in my blood was pretty significant and made a lot of sense.
Wow. So as I explained to you before, we have like 2-3 more shows to do together. You know, from your son to your sisters and your brothers. This is we have a lot more shows to do. I think you might be on like every other week at this time. I'm gonna just make November your month or something because there's a lot going on there, and you taught me something because I've never heard of that rare blood disease before. So some people might need to know that, hey, have the doctor check for this because it's so rare that you know uh, it's not known. I never knew about it, but again, that
That
blood,
is yeah.
yeah, the blood for your rare blood type to even match Tyson, that's God all by itself. Like you can't say that God isn't real and good because that that's phenomenal to even know that. And he's not black, he's not your blood brother. Like
The lighting's bad in here, but no, I'm not.
and it doesn't even matter, at this point because we've seen what God
Absolutely
can.
not.
Yeah, we see what God can and will do. And as promised, I promise not to hold you all long, but I wanted this story to get out. And as you could tell, audience, it just gets better and better. And
Amen.
LaMaiah will be back on to share more of his story. But for today, I just wanted to get this out in honor of Donor Sabbath Month and why it's so important for people to, become organ donors. Because as you can see with the brothers right here, that, he became a living donor for LaMaiah and saved his life and gave him 20 more good years.
Yes.
And because of organ donation, he has a family, he has a wife, and look how the family has continued to bless him. So, LaMaiah, my question for you today is for anyone that is considering or that's on the fence about becoming an organ donor, what would you say to them?
I would say do it. I would say get tested. The program that I'm at with UCLA, they're they're a living they have a living donor pool, and so if my sister or if even my brother isn't a match, the fact that they're living donors and are willing to step up, then they can be in a place to give their organ to someone who they are a match with. And that goes with another family that may have a living donor who's not a match. I would be able to get that living donor organ because their family member is willing to be a living donor. And so
That's awesome.
yeah, and so it's not necessarily you have to be a match now with how well the technology is. It's just a pool of living donors that are willing to provide organs.
To
But
step
the
up.
person in need, they've got to supply that living donor. And so if you're on the fence about, donating, for your family member or your loved one, a friend, get tested just to see how you can help help save that person's life, to give them an opportunity to live life better and at its fullest, because you're really contributing to society in a way that's giving life to someone.
Thank you for that. And Tyson, do you have any other words that you can add to that, because you are a living donor?
I absolutely. If you're worried about, well, what's this going to do to, how's it going to affect my life? It doesn't. I was down for a couple weeks with recovery. Other than that, I've lived a full, healthy life. I'm healthy now. A little bit overweight, but that's my own accord. That's my life choices. Has nothing to do with donating a kidney. It's been wonderful, and knowing that you had the ability to help somebody like that. There's no feeling like that. There's no feeling like that. It's not a selfish thing. I had the ability to give life, and I was able to do that, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
And he means that, y'all. I want you to know, because I asked him before, he said he wished he had another one to give him.
Absolutely.
So that he could have 20 more years.
I'd push his sister and brother out of the way so I could give again.
What a selfless act, and what a beautiful heart.
My brother right there.
You have a beautiful heart you have, Tyson. It's such a pleasure to meet you. Yeah. And again, I am honored that LaMaiah and yourself have come on the show to actually be to be continued, because we have more of the show to talk about this as well. So I'm going to let you all go. Actually, I'm going to just put you all backstage, and we're going to close off the show. You all just stay right there. Put you right backstage.
All right.
All right. So again, thank you all for watching another episode of Transplant Talk with Nyshonda. It is my honor and privilege and pleasure to be before you today. And again, we are recognizing Donor Sabbath month. I'm sorry, I keep saying month. I'm sorry. Donor Sabbath weekend is November 10th through the 12th. And we just wanted to bring you all some stories that will help you change your mind about becoming an organ donor. Okay. And all you do, get understanding and learn more about organ donation. Until next time, with another guest for Transplant Talk with Nyshonda. God bless you all, and have a great day.
I need just one more day, just one more hour to speak the truth to power. Life's not that long, just a few short hours. So make each minute count, make every second matter. Just give me one more day to get it right. I need just one more day.
Transplant Talk with Nyshonda, Thursday, 7 p.m. on Facebook.